hopefully they're going to be on topic with Bob Chapman of theinternationalforecaster.com. That's theinternationalforecaster.com. Let's go to a first-time caller, Jim in Vegas. Jim, what's on your mind?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Good. Yeah, I do have a question for Bob. I'm buying gold and silver right now, gold eagles and other silver, junk silver and whatnot. And my question to you is everyone saying that gold is going to go up, silver is going to go up in the next 18 months? How long do you hold on to it for? Because if gold is at, say, $22,000 an ounce, but it's $2,000 an ounce of worthless dollars, and what happens if they call it in? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You're saying $2,200
Yeah, we
an
know
ounce,
we know what you're saying.
Yes.
And you've asked a number of questions here. First of all, people subscribe to the International Forecaster so they'll know when to make changes. Second of all, I hope that you're doing business with Midas as well. They do sell gold and silver coins, if you didn't know that. And and also, I think the accumulation thereof is a good thing to do, and I don't expect any kind of execution of law that's going to relieve you of your gold and silver assets. And the reason why is there's not enough Americans who own enough amount of gold and silver to make it worthwhile for the government to enrage everybody. Mm-hmm. I think if they wanted to do that, they would go to the ETF and say, look, you people are professionals, so we need that 720 tons of gold that you've got there, and we'd like to relieve you of it, but we're going to pay you in dollars. And professional investors don't really care. They'll take the dollars and say, well, what can I do about it? But I don't see them going after coins, and it's just too politically undesirable under the circumstances, because they're going to have a lot of other problems, and those other problems are social in nature, if not quasi-political. If you have unemployment and people have lost their homes and their jobs and their cars, and they're on the streets, it's going to be a very, very bad thing. So I don't think the government will want any more heat than it's already got.
Mm-hmm. And if you're looking to exchange the gold for some type of currency and the dollar has already been blown out, I mean, it'll still be worth something in euros, in pounds, in foreign currency, where hopefully it's a tightrope, isn't it, Bob? I mean, if the dollar goes under, it's the world reserve currency.
You got a good point there, and let me give you the bottom line. Mm-hmm. There is no place else to go. Mm-hmm. The stock market has gone down and will continue to do so because earnings are going down. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're in a deep recession already, and depression is beginning. It's just that nobody wants to admit it. Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, the interest rates ultimately are going to start moving back upward. Mm-hmm. When that happens, real estate has already gone down. Commodities have already gone down. What is left? And you're in a hyperinflationary environment, or at least an inflationary environment, at least for some period of time. Mm-hmm. You go to gold and silver. Mm-hmm. Now, when you get to the apex of the hyperinflation and it starts to head downward because you're heading deeply into depression, what you want to have is only gold bullion coin. And the reason for that is it will hold its value. There's no premium to speak of in it, although premium may happen along the way. I don't know that for sure, neither does anybody else. Mm-hmm. But if everything goes down 60, 70, 80, 90% like it did in the 1930s, and gold holds its on your own and never goes anywhere, you're a big winner. Mm-hmm. But if gold goes to $2,000 or $3,000 an ounce like I think it will, and everything else goes down like I think it will, you're going to be a giant winner.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah, I got to agree with you there. All right, thank you so much for the
guys.
call. All right, let's jump to Missy in Michigan. Missy, what's on your mind?
I've been hearing so much about dollar devaluation. Mm-hmm. Can you help me understand what that actually looks like? How does that happen? What happens in the real world? They just come out and say your dollar is now worth 70 cents? Or
Well, basically, first of all, they do it gradually. So you are less and less aware. But, yeah, every day, for instance, before 9/11, our dollar was high above the euro. It was about $1 to 75, 76 cents. So we were, 24 cents more than that. Now the euro is about $1.37, $1.40 compared to our dollar. Bob, why don't you explain it to her?
Because people are talking about it like it's an event, like something will happen and someone will declare, now the dollar is devalued.
Go ahead.
Well, a government can do that. And governments usually do that because they owe other people money. And in this case, we owe $17 trillion to our creditors out there who are foreigners. And it's just as bad for Americans as well. And so in order to get rid of that, they say, look, our currency is no longer selling at 131 to a euro. It's now selling at 180 to a euro. And so we have decided that for every $10 that you have, we're going to give you one new one. And that is the way devaluation takes place. Now, there are other forms of devaluation. Devaluation is caused by inflation, which robs the currency of its buying power. That's more subtle. It's stealth. It's stealing. Now, the other is too, but the devaluation is an event. It happens. It's over. Whereas when you have inflation, it gets you a little bit every day.
I mean,
so is it an announcement?
Well, an example for in the real world is if you were to go down to Mexico 10 years ago on a vacation and you brought the dollar, you would have probably gotten twice the bang for your buck because it was worth more. It was more compared to the peso. If you'd gone to Europe, you would have had twice the value to your buck, going over there. But now if you go online and you try to buy something out of Europe and it's in pounds or in euros, you're actually going to pay almost twice what it would be in dollars. So, in the real world, people are stopping taking dollars. I mean, it is the real world. Although it's still the world reserve currency, less and less people want dollars. In fact, some people are requesting euros. I think that was even a subplot in the latest Bond movie. The dictators didn't want dollars anymore. They demanded euros in briefcases. Missy?
Well, I didn't see the movie, but that's probably true. But there are countries who would prefer not to take dollars, particularly in Central and South America.
All right, let's take one more phone call before the break. Let's go to Ship in Missouri. Ship, what's on your mind?
Hey, Jason, how are you?
Good.
All right, my question is for Bob. Bob, I would like to know how you think the North American Union and potentially the rise of the Amero plays into the whole thing. A new currency could really shape it. And so is this economic collapse, are they just using it to consolidate wealth and real resources to rob us just so they can say, okay, we're going to start over and we're still on top? I don't know. Could you speak to that, please?
Okay, first of all, the North American Union has effectively, temporarily at least, been derailed. Thanks to the efforts of Alex Jones and others, the exposure of what the Council on Foreign Relations and Mr. Pastor was trying to get around us without letting us know. But he doesn't realize that lots of us read Foreign Affairs. In fact, I've been a reader since 1960. And that is the House organ of the Council on Foreign Relations. And they came right out and said, this is what we want to do. And so I think it's been stopped at the pass. And how long that'll last, I don't know. I don't think that they're going to use an Amero in a devaluation in the United States.
Bob will be back right on the other side, and we'll talk about the North American Union, the internationalforecaster.com, Infowars.com, and PrisonPlanet.tv. Final segment with Bob Chapman of the internationalforecaster.com over at Infowars.com. I am Jason Burma, sitting in for the Alex Jones Show all week. And remember, if you missed any of the broadcasts today, we will be rebroadcasting all 4 hours at the bottom of the fourth hour. We're going to be going live on PrisonPlanet.tv in about 5 minutes. Just been so fun sitting in for Alex Jones. What's not fun is the fact that we're being thrown into this just economic disaster in our country. And on top of that, as far as the last caller and the North American Union, Dobbs, one of the last, great American mainline reporters, has reported that the Obama administration is going to open up talks again with the SPP people, the Securities and Prosperity Partnership people that the Bush administration talked to. So we will see where it goes from there. Bob, why don't you give people your website and the phone number?
The website is theinternationalforecaster.com. The International, FORECASTER.com. The toll-free number is 877-479-8178. 877-479-8178, and you get a free copy of the International Forecaster, whether it's by email or in hard copy.
Excellent. Now, you were talking to Ship, and you were saying that you don't think that they're going to bring in an Amero to bring in this North American Union. I tend to think that they're going to try to consolidate